So welcome everyone. Sant Prasanna, Sukriti, a bunch of people I know from earlier. All right. So I guess we'll take somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes and try and answer everybody's questions. We are, for those of you who are brand new, we're kind of about to start on another leg of our long program. And let me kind of explain the structure from our website can be a little confusing. So let me try and explain how it works. That we've got a cluster of courses in machine learning and AI, right? And they are numbered AI 1 and 2, AI 3 and 4, which are advanced, and machine learning 1 and 2, which were earlier called data science 1 and 2, for everybody who's wondering what happened. Right? For people who are going forward from here, we are removing one part of our curriculum for a short while, and that is advanced data science and data engineering, right? So what's going to happen right now is that toward the end of January, 25th of January, we start a leg of our programs, which begins with machine learning 1 and machine learning 2. Now, anybody who sees our website will realize that the longest program we have goes the following way. You take all the basic courses, both in sort of data science, machine learning, as well as neural networks and AI. And that's machine learning 1 and machine learning 2, AI 1, AI 2. Then there's a stack of advanced courses. AI 3 is like natural language programming and time series. AI 4 is generative models and reinforcement learning. That's kind of the entire plan. And then at the end, we have like professional practice, guided training, internship, project, whatever you call it. It's a capstone. It's a fairly long capstone where you work on a very difficult mentored problem in a somewhat realistic environment. And that's kind of our entire program. What we had earlier, which we've kind of discontinued, not for our older students, but only for the new upcoming students, is advanced data science. And earlier we had imagined a track where we could do data science and machine learning, which is coming up in January, 1 and 2. And then instead of going down the neural networks and deep learning path, go down the productionizing of data models, data engineering path. And it's created sufficient indecision in the minds of our students that we decided, for now at least, until there is clarity and capacity, both, will discontinue it. So I don't know whether that confused everybody more or explain anything, but I thought that I'd share that with you guys, right? Now, it's so the purpose of today's call is ask me about our courses, ask me about general things that I can answer. I can't answer everything. I head this business, but I myself am not an AI specialist. Though long ago and far away at MIT, I studied neural networks, so I know a little bit about it. And I'm also happy to answer questions about employment, career, and things like that to those that might be interested. Okay, there's a bunch here. First one, who are placement weeks for? So as we get to the end of our program, like any other regular university, we'll invite employers to interview our students. Now, kind of, curious feedback, if you'd like. Those of the students who are already part of our programs and here know this. But Pavlos Protopappas, who is a Harvard professor and who recently concluded teaching AI 1 and AI 2, is of the definitive opinion that at least 70% of our existing students are as good as or better than the ones that he teaches at Harvard. So we are rather excited, and we think that when the program rolls to an end and time comes for us to be able to offer placement opportunities to people, we should do really well, right? At least that's our expectation, and we rather look forward to it. So, who are the placement weeks for? They're obviously for our students, right? Uh, I don't know if there was meant to be more detail to the question, but happy to answer it if you explain. Second, how do I know which level is best suited for me? This is from Shreya Sharma. Not sure what you mean by that level. Okay, I guess it means we have level X, level Y, level Z, right? If you go look at the topics, I think you should be able to answer that question. Shreya, if you're there, you can turn on your video and talk to me. But I imagine that if you go sort of dig a little deeper, look at the topics, if you have no prior background in either machine learning or AI, I'd say you'd start at the beginning, which is level X, right? And level Y is meant to be advanced. Level Y is essentially NLP and reinforcement learning and generative models. You should know from the sound of these whether you're prepared for them or not. And level Z is very clearly for the people who are already past level X and Y. In other words, they're quite good at what they do, and we essentially turn them into fairly expert, proficient practitioners. So I hope that explains that. Third one, Shivam Sharma. 2.5 years ago, are 2.5 years enough to start a good career in machine? 2.5 years? Don't know. Shivam, I'm not sure I understand your question. Is Shivam Sharma here?
He is. Shivam, do you mind turning off?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hi, Shivam. We can hear you. Could you explain your question, please?
Now I am currently in third year. After 2.5 year, I am graduating from SVNIT
Mhm.
uh, in integrated MSc Mathematics, Applied Mathematics degree.
Okay.
But now currently uh, I am just starting a machine learning.
Yeah.
So I really want to know how much time how much time I get to be a proficient in machine learning.
Okay. So that's like asking how much time will I take to become an expert statistician or an expert physicist, right? Um, well, with machine learning, depends on what you want to do. If you want to do PhD caliber research, then you will take the time that a PhD takes. But if you want to go get a job, right, and get a job with writing preliminary models, testing models against data, yeah, choosing the algorithms to deploy, being able to fix data streams so that models work, being able to do transfer learning, you can do that after 3 months, 6 months tops, right? If you want to be able to build recommendation engines, which a lot of people use, do different other NLP stuff, 6 months to 9 months, yeah. If you want to do some particular thing like generative models or reinforcement learning and apply them really, really well, I'd say a year, 9 months to a year. So these are very subjective and vague answers, and without digging deeper into it and how many hours you're willing to put, what experience you're willing to gain in applying the things that you learn, the way dependent, right? But generally speaking, I think if you were to go to graduate school and take a graduate level program to be, to get a reasonably good job at one of the top US companies would take you about 1.5 to 2 years of work, right? To get an applied machine learning job at you know outside of a Google or a Facebook, nine months to 12 months of serious hard work with enough experience in application should be more than plenty. But again, the question is limited in its meaning, and therefore the answer is also limited in its meaning, right? I hope you realize that. But I'm quoting just very vague timescales, which agree with most graduate level programs in foreign universities as well as our own, right? That that what is the limit of accomplishment if you were to do that diligently? And I think that you could potentially be, you could, with a 9 to 12 month program, if you were to give it enough time and attention, and if you're good at it, you should be able to get some of the best jobs around, right? So 2.5 years, more than plenty. 2.5 years of, you know, of time, if you give 10 to 15 hours a week, like way more than plenty, right? So
Yeah.
let me quickly get through the rest. What opportunities will I get after completing AIY, AIZ? How can these courses help me pivot to a career? Uh, Before that, okay, I've seemed to, okay, looks like the queue has refreshed.
Yes.
Student or a fresher, I see there are less opportunities available in AI compared to others. Should I really pursue it? Sarah, it completely depends. I think AI opportunities are only going to go up, and they aren't as few as you think there are, right? Um, there's actually plenty of machine learning jobs around. Now, they're not openly advertised simply because employers don't want to go through the trouble of sifting through dozens or hundreds of stupid resumes they'll get of people who are not even qualified, right? That becomes the barrier. And usually through they can get a lot of these people through internal referrals, through professors, through some of the ML programs in the country. So probably if you're going to do a general search for ads posted online, or forums like Naukri, you won't find any, or you'll find very few. Yeah. Uh, but that said, there are plenty of opportunities. I don't think opportunities uh, are a problem, especially if you know your subject well. So you're asking, should I really pursue it? I mean, I'll tell you that if you are good at AI, then you will probably be one of the world's highest paid professionals, no matter what, right? And the top end of it are people who work at the likes of Google Brain or DeepMind, and they earn anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million straight out of graduate school, right? But that's the highest level. It doesn't, clearly you won't get there on day one. But if you're looking at deploying ML models, entry level jobs, you start at about $30,000-$40,000 in India, you know, and which is 20-25 lakhs, and you can go up from there, right? So I'd say if you're passionate about it, the employment opportunities will be plenty. Anyway, I didn't expect that I'd just go reading through this bunch of questions. It sounds like I'm looking at a screen and just talking. So, so I'm happy to take some live questions, and we can go back to answering the others in a meanwhile.
So, I'm Shashank here.
Mhm.
I will be studying masters in AI in UK. So I want to know, can Univ.AI help me? Like, let's say I do AI-Y, not AI-Z. If I do AI-Y, can you help me find placements there in UK?
No, we, as in, we have no infrastructure to help you uh, find jobs in the UK. But through referrals of our faculty, maybe informally, yes. But are we planning to set up a system to help you find jobs in the UK? Probably not.
Okay,
US,
so
probably yes.
Univ.AI is mostly focused on India and US then.
I think so. At this point, that'd be fair to say.
Okay. Uh, and if I do it in India, AI-Y will help me find a job then in.
I think I just answered that
Okay,
question,
okay,
right?
okay.
Uh,
All right. And I want to know, can I do AI-Y without writing any test for it?
mm, well, we haven't opened admissions yet, and there is a risk to letting people in who are not qualified. So we're planning to give an entrance exam. But if you want to attend without taking the exam, then write to us why you should be allowed entry, and we'll consider it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But we are not yet definitely decided whether we'll slap an entrance test on it or not, right?
Okay.
Uh, AIZ definitely, and there's no unqualified entry to AI. AIY, we are divided. We might do a short interview, we might do a test or something like that.
All right.
But why do you ask this question? I mean, is there a problem with the test?
No, I don't have a problem with the test. I want to know at what level should I be ready to, take the course.
Well,
At what level of expertise in the fields required? Let's say, how much convolutional neural networks do I need to know?
just look at the syllabus. Um, AI1 and AI2, which is on the website, and nothing too advanced. If if you know, you know basic CNNs, I think you're ready to proceed doing time series, and
Okay,
therefore NLP.
okay,
Yeah, but but uh, I mean, our curriculum starts to get technically heavy, so I'd be good with my math and stuff like that.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Sid, we had a question regarding the time investment and the live learning opportunities that are available per week in our programs.
Mm.
So would you like to answer that? I think people, especially those who are established working professionals, they would like to know about the time commitment required.
I think all evidence seems to suggest that. Uh, so let's look at the hard time commitments, right? There is 2 days, 2 days a week. Uh, Earlier we were running one weekday and one weekend. Now we are running. The next courses are going to be Tuesday, Friday. Then we go to advanced courses again. I think we'll do Wednesday, Saturday. But you need about so our schedule is kind of rough in the sense that there are 2 hours of classes twice a week. There's 1.5 hours of labs again twice a week, and then there's office hours, between 1 to 2 hours. So that's straight there. That's 4 plus 3, 7 plus 1, 8 hours a week of sessions, right? Now you probably need, I'd say, anywhere between 3 to 5 hours a week over and above that to be able to do homeworks and such like that. So we're talking about, for people who are really, really good, maybe 10 hours. For people, for everybody else who's trying to learn this field from scratch, it'll get closer to 15 hours. So that's the kind of time commitment, unfortunately. And I think to do justice to a new thing that you're learning, that's only fair. Now let's talk about lifetime commitment. Lifetime commitment is, like I said, 8 hours, 7 hours. But of that, there are ways and means to reduce that. I mean, you can choose not to attend some of the live lectures. You can catch up with them on video if they become, for whatever reason, you're able to not attend them. Labs, again, if you miss the labs, you might be able to catch up with the labs with your study group or work partner. Office hours are open, optional, right? So one can do a little bit of time management, but I'd say all in all, uh, this is reasonably demanding. And timings are somewhat convenient. I'd say that weekdays are 9 p.m. So especially for working people, and weekends are 7:30 p.m. So that's our standard session mix. So uh, so timing wise, I think kind of okay, but commitment wise, I think this is reasonably heavy. So what we do therefore is we've kind of restructured our program significantly from earlier. Right, earlier we gave you no choice. If you start at one end of the train, you'd have to go through all the way to the end. Now we are saying that we've got X, Y, Z, and depending on your prior experience, you can come in at X, stop for a bit if you want to, like probably give it a 3 month skip if you need to, because we repeat our programs every 3 months, more or less. And we'll try to do it with even higher frequency going forward. but then you can get on to the next train, which would be the Y after 3 months, and you can again take a gap if you want to and go to Z. So that's how we've structured it. So which means that your minimum straight commitment is about 100 to 120 hours over a 10-week period, right, at a time. So that's kind of the basic structure of the program. And so you should take it only if that works for you. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Anyone else?
We have a question regarding in the chat regarding people who have a non-technical background. Can they even become data scientists?
Answer is yes, but remember that non-technical background needs to become technical at some point. Now, question is, what do we mean by technical? So the skills required. Um, okay, so now data scientist, right? It is slightly different than machine learning versus AI. So I don't know what you're thinking when you say data scientist, which is an umbrella term. If you want to be a data analyst, then that's more statistics. If you want to do more machine learning, then it's modeling and applying, sort of probably developing, tweaking, and applying AI algorithms to bunches of data, right? And I think at some point, sooner rather than later, you'll start to need some background in mathematics. So you'll have to gain that. Mostly linear algebra and transforms are what we're talking about, right? So it'll become necessary. So to start with, and to start with, you'd still need some familiarity with calculus to understand stochastic gradient descent. If you want to have nothing to do with math, you can still be a reasonably good MLAI engineer by being a good coder, right? So I've said multiple things here, that you can take the data analytics path by learning statistics. You can do the ML and AI path by being a reasonably good programmer, even if you don't know mathematics. But to be really good, you'll need to know mathematics. You'll need to pick it up, right? That's kind of the set. So do non-technical people learn data science and ML and AI? By all means, all the time. In fact, 50 to 60% of people come from non-technical backgrounds, including medicine. Not necessarily with us, but worldwide, that's the statistic.
So I want to add one thing. I came from a non-technical background. I studied, I did some online bootcamp, and I got a job in AI. So that's one
Why don't
example.
you tell everyone, Shashank, about where you work, what kind of a job you do? That might be useful.
Uh, I'm Shashank. I studied BBA from New Delhi, and post that I did a boot camp online from Bangalore, and I got a job which was a Bangalore-based company, and I was working mainly with state-of-the-art convolutional neural networks, uh, those models to apply, and research part as well. So that's and a lot of it I studied on my own. Some of it I picked it up from free courses. So yeah.
But I think what people would, those that are here who are non-technical, I assume that's a minority, would like to know that what's difficult if you're, and A, what does non-technical mean? Of course, you did BBA, so it means
Okay.
as about as non-technical as it gets. But what parts are difficult to get? And
Uh, for me, and I would think for many non-technical people, the coding part is something which one would need help with and practice with. I found it difficult, even simpler things. So I think that is the first part which a person has to focus. Secondly, have the faith that in spite of not being from a technical background, not having that kind of people around, you can still find a good mentor and go through the whole process and be as good as anyone else.
so long story short, you can. So don't worry about it. It'll be hard. There's nothing new in life that's not hard, right? If you have no quantitative aptitude, yes, you're going to find it hard. But if you're unafraid of being quantitative, by all means take the plunge. Surajit Bhattacharya, can you ask questions here? Yes, you can. I'm starting to now look at Zoom chat as well.
Sid, can we address a little thing about the name change of DSX and MLX? There are a couple of questions regarding that.
All right. So see, I think the right name for the course is machine learning and data science. We start with data analytics ideas, web scraping, visualization, things like that. And then once you've given you a little background with, the broader ideas of data science, we move over to things like trees, right, which are employed in machine learning. Um, but the reason we changed the name, and we're still battling with, optimizing all of these names, is because the path that we are taking people down is down the road of specializing in machine learning and AI. We aren't really addressing that well, or even offering now anymore a mainstream data science path at the moment. So hence we decided to change the name. But other than that, if you look at the content, you'll find that especially the first part of it has like broad-based data science concepts that everybody should learn, and therefore we have you learn them as well.
All right, we have a question from Sarvagya. He has a question regarding AI-Y. How instrumental will AI-Y be, and will Udemy.ai help me enhance my profile for my graduate applications?
Well, how instrumental, I'm not sure how to interpret that word. Like I've said, AI-Y is advanced AI, takes you through the gamut of advanced neural network and deep learning ideas, starting from NLP all the way to reinforcement learning. How will it help in your graduate applications? Well, we got great graduate professors. The numbers are increasing. We've just added two more. And rumor has it that a lot of our people tend to go abroad and go to really exceptional places. So I think if you did well here, there are two or three different kinds of opportunities that arise. One is working directly with the professor on research and therefore going to their program directly. The other is earning one or more recommendations from them, right? Third is the opportunity, which we've been talking about for a long, long time and are finally starting to take online, is research with these very professors. Uh, so not everybody will not have them. The rooms, the space is limited, will be based on preparedness and you know your rapport with the professor, but those will also become available. So as a path to graduate school, I'd say probably the best path you can have outside of actually going to graduate school. Um, and I guess that's that.
Okay. Then we have a question regarding the course assessments.
Mhm.
Does the course end with assessment? If yes, based on the score, can we get good referrals upon for upcoming opportunities? I think you answer the opportunities part.
Yeah, what does opportunities mean? Good referrals? Most certainly, yes.
About the course end assessments, like the projects that we have.
What about it? Not sure. I mean, what is the question?
Does the course end with assessment?
Yes, it does. We grade ABCD grade scale. Your assessment is fairly rounded based on a combination of performance in projects, exercises, experience with the TA's interaction with you, and your experience in the labs. So I don't know if we have published our grading scheme, but we do have a grading scheme. We use a weighted average of performance in various arenas and come up with a grade. And still now the classes are small enough that the professors know people by name. So I think anybody who's coming to these classes at this stage of our evolution are probably going to be in a very good position to earn specific personal referrals, recommendations, and referrals both.
Okay. Sid, would you like to go through the various levels of programs that we have right now? MLX, AIX, AIY, then AIZ.
All right. So quickly, X. So what we've done is we've taken our long program, which is still called and used to be called a master program in AI and ML, right? And we've kind of restructured things a little bit to make them, in some ways, lower commitment at a time, right? And we realized that for people to commit 1 year nonstop is hard. So we did a couple of things. We bucketed our programs into three. So right now you've got a master program in AI and ML, another in specifically in deep learning, where you get to skip the courses that I was just talking about, which are now numbered ML1, ML2. And the third is like an advanced beginner, right? That who takes a sweep of all the ideas in data science, machine learning, and sort of introductory neural networks. And those are the first four courses, ML1 and 2, AI1 and 2, and that we call fast AI and ML, right? And fast AI and ML, to answer the question of many here, gets you kind of job ready, that you're employable as a entry level data scientist and AI engineer at that point, and you should be able to get quite a few. Obviously, and expectedly, these won't be, uh, you know, the really good jobs, right? For which you need to know a little bit more. Y level take you further on the conceptual tree, which presumes that you already know the basics at that point. And like I've said before, you learn NLP, GANs, and reinforcement learning in Y, which kind of completes the suite of the current state of the art in neural networks, right? And Z is just meant to earn you professional stripes with project work, like seriously heavy duty project work, right? Which are so one of the problems in this particular area is that you can do all the curriculum you want to, but to uh, get to work on guided projects which are intensive, which test your skill in various areas, give you experience in working with different ideas, opportunities are few and far between. So we are coming up with a system where there'll either be industry internships with our partners or internships with our professors, via which you'll do a capstone. And at the end of it, the way we are visualizing it, that you should really have all the skills and tool sets necessary to get reasonably good, very good jobs. So hence, I think in summary, X is basics, both MLX and AIX. Y is advanced, and Z is finishing off your skills for top tier employment. That's how we see it.
All right, we have a question. There are numerous institutions teaching data science. How is Univ.AI different from the clutter out there, and why should any student choose Univ.AI over others?
Who's asking this?
This is Amjad.
Amjad, you around?
This was a previously asked question. I don't think he's around.
All right. I don't know. Can't advertise. All I can tell you is that what you learned here, the only other way to get the exact same learning is to be in a Harvard classroom. Now, we probably do better than the Harvard classroom in many ways, because our student teacher ratios are way better than Harvard's, and you get way more attention. So other than that, can't really compare to the clutter of programs out there because I don't know them very well.
All right. This is anonymous. Please raise your hand or please come forward if you're here. I have 13 years of experience in software development, data engineer. Will X and Y courses help me getting into FANG companies for data scientists?
Most certainly, yes. But FANG companies um, have what do you call it, hiring criteria that involve more than just courseware, right? And I think if you meet those, then most certainly yes. So if you're saying that you are already very accomplished, very bright, smart, and what is missing between your sort of working in an ML position and AI company is just knowledge of the field, then yes, I think the answer would be yes. We are fairly well connected to some of the FANGs, and like if you'd said that you are kind of earlier in your journey, can you get a FANG job? I'd have said yes, but I'm not sure. I myself don't know, right? I've never hired somebody who's that senior into an entry level job. So I'm unable to answer specifically what kind of fan job you're talking about, whether that's an entry level job in ML and AI after having just finished an introductory course in ML and AI, or are you talking about a job that is commensurate with your expertise and what kind of job that might be? So if you have a more specific question, I can help answer that. Maybe even
Uh,
refer you to one of the facts.
yeah,
But
my
the way the question stated leaves me a little confused as to whether we're talking about experienced persons seeking entry level job in machine learning or what.
my question was like, since I have 13 years of experience, I cannot go into like entry level job. So in that in that case, like lead scientist or something, I feel like they are expecting more like a research oriented people in that case, like PhD from well-known university or something.
Okay, so
So
let us address this question logically, right? Now, let us say hypothetically, instead of us, you went to MIT. Yeah, you did a master's degree there with your experience. Now, and then you applied to Google or machine learning. What position will they give you? They will probably go with your prior experience and give you an engineering job, which has a machine learning component, right? But if you want to get an advanced job in machine learning, then you probably need to get to that level of expertise that they're looking for,
yeah,
right? So I think that's the kind of catch 22. If you're looking for a senior job in machine learning, then you need to have senior credentials in machine learning.
okay,
There's no particular way to short circuit that path. Yeah, but like machine learning jobs aren't this straightforward, right? I mean, not everybody is doing cutting edge machine learning, sort of either building new models or tweaking existing ones, applying them to difficult problems. The machine learning environment has multiple roles in it, including very strong engineering roles. And so there are multiple jobs in an ML team, and I'm sure with your kind of seniority, you'll probably be eligible for more than one of them.
sure, thanks.
But
We
but there's no way to short circuit getting expertise in a particular field.
Yeah, I don't want to short circuit, but like, yeah, if I want to spend like another year or two, then if I apply for that, maybe that will helpful for me. So that's what I was looking for.
See, to get into the field, most certainly. Like for example, one of the questions that I get a lot is from people uh, who are in product management kind of jobs, asking if they should know this, and I say by all means, right? I mean, at a minimum, that completely supercharges their job prospects, because if you need to work with machine learning teams, you better know it. And similarly, I'd say the same for you. That can you get a lead scientist position in a machine learning team after 2 courses in machine learning? Probably not, right?
Yeah,
But can you be a senior engineer uh, in the same team? Probably yes.
okay,
All right. What else?
yeah, yeah, I got it. Yeah,
Hey, any live questions for me? I mean, it's a bit silly answering only questions which have been written with all of you sitting here live. The idea was to kind of have a conversation. So anyone, please. Hello.
Hi, sir. Shashank here again. I want to know if the professor can help us write a research paper or supervise it.
Professor doesn't help you write research papers. Professor gives you a research paper topic to work on and then helps you, I mean, answers
With
questions, advices, things like that.
okay, offer guidance.
Yeah. But I'll tell you this, right? That people in our class have in the past and present tried to work with the professors. The level of commitment that the professors require, they're happy to entertain these applications, but the level of commitment that they want is very high. Remember that by giving anybody a spot, they're potentially denying somebody else a spot, right? And so these are not easy things. It's not like you work with a professor and suddenly you have a publishable paper. That if you want to work with a professor, be sure that you want to give it your 100%.
Okay.
Shivam has a question regarding financial aids available. Shivam, would you like to come on video?
Hello, actually, I also had the same question.
Yeah, ask.
Um, yeah, about the financial aid or EMI option. Is there anything like it available for the courses? Like, I
So,
wanted to enroll for the whole like MLX and AIY and AIZ part. So, is there any sort of help available?
MLX, AIX, AIY, AIZ. So there is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, so there is financial, so multiple things, right? We offer very limited scholarships, and they are not a lot, as in, uh, but the EMI payments are available for everybody. You can apply through our financial partners,
Okay.
and also the way we ask you to pay is not the whole thing at a time. We just ask you to go one at a time, and the first two courses are actually very cheap. So multiple ways to account for it. I think either Maria or Weber, uh, any of the others can get on a call with you and explain if you want to. But what are you specifically
Yeah, I
looking
would
for?
like. Uh, actually,
So,
I would have liked some sort of financial aid, but I think this EMI option is also fine. Like I'm currently a postgraduate student. Like I've finished my postgraduation from IIT Madras, and
yeah,
I was thinking of getting into like AI because I've taken part in the AI 100 and I liked it really a lot,
yeah,
and I would like to make a long term commitment with the course,
sure.
like for the entire duration.
We'd love to have you since you've taken one of our programs, which essentially means that our faculty and others. I mean, we probably know how well you did, right? So based on that, we can take a call on things like financial aid.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I would
Okay.
like if
So
someone could like explain the options to me. That would be a really great help.
Sure.
yeah. So uh, why don't Maria just will you note Surajit's details and
I have
just
already.
yeah. All right. Cool.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Hello,
Yes, Rajat.
hello, hi Siddharth. Uh,
Hi.
uh, I know introductory ML and data science part, and I am interested in gaming bots and voice AI and musical AI. So am I able to learn ML and AI so I can apply ML skills to build bots and create music with the help of models? And is there any cloud service or AWS part for so we can in the curriculum? And what is the outcome after the course?
All right. So it'll need me to repeat the things which are already widely known, right? But I'll do that for you anyways. So see, now creating music with AI, right? Like I
Yes,
explained, I am not an AI specialist, but what I do know is that you create music using generative models,
yes,
correct?
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
GANs.
Yeah. So generative models happen in AI 4.
Okay,
Okay. And so we do cover that. We cover the entire spectrum, right? All the way from time series and NLP to generative model and reinforcement learning.
okay, okay. Uh,
Yeah, we do enough to get you started there, and then when you take Z, we'll give you a lot of practice in an area of your choice, right?
okay, okay. And and is there any cloud computing part in the curriculum?
No, there is not. I mean, when you say cloud computing, what do you mean by cloud computing?
Just a introductory part so we are able to integrate data migration or data
You'll
services.
learn all the basics during. If you take a Z course, you'll learn all of that, right? Because in your Z course, we'll expect you to solve a problem and deploy it.
Uh, uh,
So
uh, right now I am able to apply linear regression and naive bayes canon theorem. Would
So
should
you're
I?
already done with the X series. You should only do
No,
consider.
no, 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 no,
Uh,
no. I didn't.
no, I'm saying you're done with the curriculum for the X series. You've not done it. I'm saying, but if you uh, like for example, Rahul's teaching knife base in ML2, right?
Okay,
So if you've
okay,
done that, then the upcoming ML1, ML2, most likely, if you look at the syllabus, you'll find you've already done most of it.
okay, okay,
Okay. So take a call. So which means that the only one that you ought to be interested in is AI3 and AI4. But then, we'd also need, I mean, if you want a more detailed assessment, again, contact us. We're happy to help.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you, Siddharth.
Yep. Anytime.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Siddharth, how the course is scheduled? Like, is it like MIX, AX, then AY? It's all going to be a sequential one, or you are having parallel courses?
So we will see right now, because we're starting out, we had done a lot of pilots prior to September we did AI 1, which is part of our AIX program. Then we did AI 2, which is again AIX is two courses, AI 1 and AI 2. Now we'll do MLX, which is ML 1 and ML 2, right, which is starting with data science and going all the way to trees and knife base, what Rajat was just talking about. And then we'll have AI 3 and AI 4. So clearly we are running a sequence. But right around the time we start AI 3 and AI 4, we'll restart AI 1 and AI 2. Yeah. So people who do ML1 and ML2 right now can go on to doing AI 1 and AI 2. So as a matter of what do you call it, sequence, without doing AI2 and AI3, unless you know that from earlier, unless you know CNNs from earlier, you can't do AI3 and AI4. So if you, for example, start in January with ML1, you'll have to do ML1, ML2, then AI1, AI2, then AI3, AI4. If you already know the curriculum for AI1 and AI2, then you can skip everything and go straight to AI3, AI4. If you also, you could do ML1, ML2 if you don't know the content that is in there, and then go to AI3, AI4 directly after ML1, ML2, if you know the content of AI1, AI2, right? So in some sense, understanding this is really simple. ML1, ML2 are standalone. They are not prerequisites for anything else in the course, but it is basic data science. Everybody should learn it before going to neural networks, right? A real practical job, you will find, calls on your basic data science knowledge quite a lot. And therefore it's useful. People who are certain that they need to do deep learning and nothing but deep learning, they can just do AI 1, 2, 3, 4, i.e. AIX and AIY and AIZ, right? And to answer the very specific question that you asked, that will we be offering courses in parallel going forward? Yes, that in fact we'll offer AIX and AIY almost side by side in April, May. So people who have started earlier can go to AIY, and people who have started, sort of late and are still in the early stages, they'll do AIX. So does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Aziza has a question. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So you previously mentioned that there are open AI positions, but they are only filled through referrals. But my question is, after MLX, will there be any kinds of referrals that you can go through to get an internship or something?
The answer is yes, but I hesitate to make an open commitment like this in a forum like this. Like, for example, we have lots of students, and anyone who wants internships and jobs, we will work with them and get them into the right place, right? But do we have an internship program to get you straight from MLX to an internship? The answer is no, right? But if you do want to do an internship right after MLX, I think we can find you one.
Okay, the question is because I'm going to find it tough to pay for AIY and AIZ uh, without any kind of uh, financial assistance. And that's why I'm thinking that during my summer
Are you a
vacation,
working
I can get
professional?
some kind of payment.
No, are you a student or a working professional?
I'm a student and I have registered for the MLX course.
Okay.
I got a 10% scholarship.
If you've already registered, then talk with us off the line. There are multiple options. We can figure out something for you. Right.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, I just wanted to ask one question in regards to the capstone and research project. So what is the duration of this project? I do believe that capstone takes a little less than the research paper, like research project.
So I think we'd like to have it done in 10 to 12 weeks. Um, will depend a lot on the project you pick up and what your goals would be for the project. But if time is so this is subjective, right? Uh, we are not driven so much by the timetable than by the learning objective. So we'll pick a series of projects for people to do, and we'll sort of leave it to the people to pursue things along with whoever is advising them to to a particular conclusion, right? So if your question is that can it be finished in a time bound way, I'd say yeah, 10 to 12 weeks. If you want to do longer, if you want to define your objective so that you can go slightly longer, answer is yes. And of course, if you take up research with one of the profs, that'll be a long time.
I see.
But
Thank you.
but let me answer that. I've just recently been talking to two of our faculty with whom we are starting some things to do, and so we don't necessarily require people to take the long research path. We might also give very short problems to work on, which would be about the same length, 10 to 12, 10 to 14 weeks, like that. So those options will probably also be available.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Have I left anything unanswered?
Yeah, we have a question regarding our older courses.
Mhm.
So how does people who have taken the Master AI or Accelerated AI programs affect with the current set of offerings of MLX now?
No impact. Same thing. MLX is what was earlier the combination of DS1 and DS2. Course content does not change except for some accommodations that are being made to just look at the pace that people are able to go at. So some topics have been taken out. I think the courses have been trimmed somewhat. But for people who have appetite to do more, I'm sure the professors will be more than happy to oblige. So if anybody is going super fast, get in touch with us. I mean, there are TAs that you're constantly working with, and I'm sure we can find ways and means for you to do more.
We had a question from Ravi Tiwari. He says he's coming from a management background, so he wanted to know if there'll be extra help from mentors available.
And short answer is yes, but what kind of extra help are we talking about is the question.
Ravi, would you like to come on? Yeah.
Like I am attending the Python prep course,
Yeah.
And the pace of that course a bit heavy for me. So just wanted to know that if a pace gets a bit fast, then can I ask for extra help if I wanted to for
Ravi,
some
if you're
time?
coming into this course with very little prior preparation, you are going to find the pace a little high
Okay.
and the course a little difficult, right? I would not pretend otherwise. I say this to people even who come in with some background. The course is fairly fast paced, right? Now, extra help is available, right? Um, but it's a very this extra help is a vague thing. Like, for example,
Yeah.
how many hours of extra help in what depends on that,
Okay.
right? So I'll tell you what we have done in the past. We have a small group of people, professionals, who haven't had prior experience in many of the areas that are required, and we've arranged quite a good deal of extra help for them on the side, right? and we should be able to do something for like that for you. But again, that's not necessarily a part of our commitment. If we do, that will strictly be based on our best effort, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so structurally we are not equipped to do that, but are we going to try and help if you're in the program? The answer is yes.
Okay. Thank you, Siddharth.
Yeah.
There's this question regarding getting alumni status, getting contacts of seniors or peers completing the course for getting referrals in the future.
Yes, most definitely. Yes, we're working on that. Haven't gotten to quite where we would like to, but we have a what you'd call a reasonably tight community of loyals. People who come tend to, I mean, it's a small group now, but tend tend to work with us, tend to be TAs, tend to help out other people a lot. So I think the if that's your question, you will certainly be part of that community, right? And get a reasonable amount of help from that community. But again, I think it's honest and fair to say that we are an institution in the very early stages. We ourselves are trying to give structure to some of these ideas. We don't know the answers yet. The only thing we do know is that we'll offer you absolutely cutting edge world class education. Right? Everything else that we talk about on the side are things that are on a best effort basis. So if you recognize that teaching takes professors, take teaching assistants, take people who are attending to courses, who are grading you, so it's quite an extensive operation to run, right? And we are not quite a university yet. So we'll do our best. I think our intention is to provide you a near complete university-like experience, learning experience. But at the same time, we also are very demanding of the kind of commitment that you need to make to us. So give us that and we'll give it back to you.
We had a question from an older student regarding AI5. Is it still on?
Uh, mm, yes and no. It's not formally on. AI5 is an elective. So if we go back to the structure, the way it was we had three separate courses uh, dedicated to NLP and time series, GANs, and reinforcement. Pavlos concluded that GANs and reinforcement can and should be covered in one course, and also makes structural sense. So we kind of took out AI5 as a separate course. But if you want to do extra work in either GANs or NLP, that can be arranged, right? So either through a series of problems, a short project or something, or an extended project, which is the end project of AI4, that can become the equivalent of AI5 for you. We both the professors saw no need for people who are already advanced at that point to spend a lot of time on theory. Who was this, by the way?
Anonymous.
Okay, all right. Well,
Um,
since you're an existing student, to identify yourself, I'm sure we can address this. All right, go ahead.
would you like to address if they are a current college student, how do they manage their schedules from both of them, the classes as well as our programs?
Be superhuman is the easy answer. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, it's after 9 o'clock on weekdays and 7:30, and it's 15 hours of work. I think it's safe to assume that if you're starting out, it's 15 hours. If you have some prior experience, it's 10 to 12 hours. So now, that's the math. Now, whether you're able to find that kind of time alongside a heavy college schedule, I can't answer for you.
We have a few more questions regarding the placement weeks. Is that only extended to?
About college students, I think we have a lot of college students who are actually taking our course, right? I think they might be the ones who are, I mean, so clearly college students are doing it, and they are from, I mean, wide spectrum of colleges, yeah, from I think I think the answer is wide variety of colleges, all the way from the IITs to everyone in between. So it looks like people are able to do that, right? But again, whether you are able to do that or not depends on your personal circumstance. Sorry, Mario, continue.
Yes, Siddharth, that is why I asked that question because I'm also doing MBA.
Yeah.
So the thing about pace is that I may not get enough time to like do stuff on my own, and that is why I thought if I ever get stuck on something, can I just
Ravi, I think maybe, something like ours is not the right place for you to start, right? I mean,
okay?
I don't mean to discourage you, but uh, if have you tried any MOOCs yet?
Yes, I have tried it. Like for example, I have tried Introduction to Machine Learning by on Coursera by Andrew Ng, and I also completed the course of CS50 on EDX.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And did you find it comfortable?
Yes, I find it comfortable. It's just a time management issue, and that is why I asked it.
Okay, so I think if you're comfortable with that, then you should be okay. I mean, the way
Yes.
you're asking is, I mean, leads me to believe that you're a complete beginner. It looks like you're not.
No, no, I'm not a
He's
complete
enrolled for the
beginner.
program MLX.
Oh, you've
Yes.
already enrolled, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then you're good. I mean, if you've taken MOOCs, if you know the subject matter is comfortable for you, then what are you worried about?
Okay. No, I was just worried about the time management. That's it.
Ah, don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anshika wants to know if there are research opportunities and TA opportunities at Univ.AI that can be provided after MLX.
No, I think MLX is probably premature for you to do serious research, if that's your intention, right? But if you want to get onto a research project where you start on the path of research, the answer is yes. Yeah, basic problem solving on the way to research. But just look at the topics covered in MLX. What are you going to do research on?
I think she has a problem with her mic. That is why she separately asked the question. But about opportunities with Univ.AI and the TA opportunities that we might have for students, probably by AIY or AIZ levels.
So we routinely take TAs from earlier programs to teach later programs. So you'll have opportunities based on your performance for TAship for sure. Research opportunities will also exist for sure. I can make that commitment now. What kind of research you'll be able to do after MLX? Don't know.
Would you like to take our participants through ML prep that they might have to take before MLX?
Uh, well, I think there are some basic ideas of ML. We presume you ought to know before taking the MLX program. And so we bundled that into something called ML Prep. Uh, I think it covers like, preliminary machine learning all the way up until stochastic gradient descent. So relatively basic set of ideas, but required if you don't know the set of, uh, what do you call it, the curriculum scope that's covered there. So do take a look at it. And if any of you are coming in without that prior preparation, take it. It's on 16th and 17th. That's a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then there's a hack day, bit of a hackathon the following Saturday, and the classes begin. I think there's an introductory session on Jan 25th, which is a Monday, and classes begin Tuesday.
All right. So, any other questions that we might have missed? Does anyone want to come up or post in the chat, please?
Well, there are a few here. Shashank's clash between exams, college classes, how to work around that. Shashank can't answer that except that we've got, you'll have videos of everything, right? if you need specific help, drop a mail. Uh, I'm sure we can try find something, but time constraints are real things. So not sure I can answer that for you.
So want to clarify. So if the course ends in 12 weeks, I cannot extend it. I have to finish it in 12 weeks with the whole.
This is a live course, right? So
Okay.
you cannot extend the live part, but if you want an extension to submit the homeworks and get them evaluated, we'd be happy to do that,
All right. Thank you so much.
right? And if you want some help, some extra help on the side, we could potentially manage that. The way we'll do that, though, just to set your expectations right, is probably by pairing you with some former students. Yeah, after the class is over, the TAs will probably move on to teaching other classes, right? So
Right.
you may not be able to get a lot of time from the TAs.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Vinayak Kamath, doing a 3-year degree. If I'd want to do a master's in the US, is this going to be a degree or diploma program in the future for credit? Vinayak, you're not going to be able to use this for anything in the United States. No, you won't get any formal credit for this, right? But what often happens in many US programs is that they waive certain courses for you if you already know the courses, which means that if they require, let's say, like MIT had a very weird credit system when we were, I think every course carried 16 credits or something like that. But let's take an example. Let's say a master's degree requires 6 courses of 3 credits, each 18 credits, and one full course is 3 credits. So maybe you can waive like the required course, but you'll still have to do all the 18 credits, right? Which is how the university earns their fees. So you won't get any credit waivers, but you will most certainly be able to get, based on your knowledge of certain ideas, waivers for courses, required courses especially. Okay, are we out of questions?
I guess so.
Anyone have any concluding questions to ask? Else we wrap this up.
No, Siddharth.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And if you have any more questions, fire them away. We have an email address where somebody is always looking for most part. It's hello@univ.ai. We should actually create um, another email address for something like this. But hello it is for now. hello@univ.ai. Okay. So drop questions, and we'll be happy to address them. Look forward to seeing some of you at the MLX program. Those of you who registered there, and I suppose many more of you are joining the ML prep. So I guess you'll see Rahul there. So welcome on board, and talk to you guys soon.